So you remember we've just started this idea that when we're reading nonfiction, we should be able to think of main ideas and find the main ideas as we're reading nonfiction. And so we're working on some strategies for that right now. And we're going to add a new strategy to ours. I'm going to grab purple here. You grab your paper and pencil and make your next box here. And we'll go ahead and fill this box out in a moment. I'd like to actually show you this skill in action before we write it here in our box. So if you've got that book in front of you and your pencil already, go ahead and come sort of back to the screen for me for a moment. And I'm going to share a nonfiction book about toilets. I know, I got some funny faces there. I know, I don't know why. This is the one we're doing here, but it'll make us smile. It'll make us laugh, I imagine. And I want you to be on the hunt for something. I'm going to read 4 pages of this toilet book. And I would like you to be on the hunt for the one word you think I say the most. And I'm not talking about like unimportant words like the or as or is, but I'm talking about like words that have to do with our topic. One way you can sort of see the main idea of a book is by looking for things that happen a lot or that repeat. And so that's what you're looking for today when I read this. What's the word I repeat the most? Okay, so here I go. This is called Toilet, How It Works by David Macaulay. Everybody knows what a toilet is for. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Ew. Goodbye, old friend, kerplunk. Or a spring garden. What, a spring garden? Has anybody ever seen a toilet outside with flowers planted in it? Maybe that's not something that happens much around here. Okay, a toilet's most important job is to remove the waste our bodies make. Tiny creatures called bacteria live in the waste. Bacteria provide useful nutrients, but if they get on our hands or back inside our bodies, they can make us sick. With a push of a button or the press of a handle, the toilet sends our waste on its way. Clever toilet. But what is the waste and where does it come from? Everything we eat and drink passes through a long tube inside of us called the intestine. Anything useful is absorbed into the blood vessels and sent to the liver for processing. Everything left over is waste. Solid waste collects at the end of our intestines. Liquid waste is processed by the kidneys and stored in the bladder. Would you take a moment to write down the 1 or 2 words you think happen the most in these 4 pages? Was there a word or an idea that kept coming up over and over and over again? Write it down on your book somewhere or just in a little scrap of paper. Matthew, what was a word that came up over and over and over again?
Waste.
Can't hear you, man.
Waste.
Or do you have something plugged in or is your microphone not working somehow? Can you put it in the chat for us? You can hear him. Let's try it again. Maybe it's my mistake. Matthew, try it again.
Waste.
Ah, I heard you this time. Sorry, that was my mistake. Excellent. I appreciate other people in chat saying I could hear him because then it told me it was something wrong with my computer. So thank you for that. Waste. The word waste happens a ton, right? The toilet's most important job is to remove waste in our bodies. Did anybody see another word that happened a lot? Oliver?
Toilet.
Toilet obviously happened a lot, right? Any other words that happened a lot? Jaskrit.
Bacteria.
Bacteria. Okay, all of those happen quite a bit. So if I were to ask you now, which of those do you think would be the main idea of this book? It's a book about toilets, so obviously toilet is part of that. But is the main idea about just the object toilet? Or is it about the bacteria that lives in our body? Or is it about the waste that our body makes? Let's vote on this. Type in the chat whether you think it's the main idea is toilet, waste, or bacteria. Can't believe we're talking about toilet, bacteria, and waste so much. Okay, so we have people that think all of them, but I think the biggest candidate I see is waste. I would say the main idea of these 4 pages is probably that word waste, right? It's what's happening with the waste. That's what the toilet's for, and our bacteria is what makes the waste. So yeah, it has all to do with the waste that our body makes and how we get rid of it through the toilet. Whew, what an odd subject to talk about. Now, do I want you to leave here thinking, I know more about toilets? Or do I want you to leave here thinking, I know more about how to find the main idea? Yeah, I hope you realize it's the second one, right? Today's lesson isn't about toilets, but it certainly is about how to find the main idea. So let's go back to our main idea here. And let me, while you write on yours, I'm going to write on mine. I appreciate your patience here. I'd like you to write you can find main ideas. You're writing this on yours, right? And remember, we always do better when we have pictures and words. So you can find the main idea by looking for. And I'm going to make this a little bit easier for you to read. I'm going to share a printed one. Find main ideas by looking for repeating words, images, or ideas. And I like the pictures there that they're repeating. So today, during our reading time, you're going to work really hard to try and find words or images that repeat in your book and try and construct that main idea. My hope is that some of you could share that when you come back at the end of the lesson. So let me get you into your breakout room so you can spend, it'll be the next 25 minutes or so, being able to read some nonfiction.